Hi everybody, welcome back or welcome to Allie Sew Crafty. I know it's been a while, but I've been working behind the scenes on some ideas. Plus it was summer and sometimes you just need to take some time off to think and rethink things. But I'm back and I'm back with a modification for a original pattern that I have created for my jewelry wallet. So I made this pattern and I sell it. You can get the pattern for the jewelry wallet down in the description. It's one of my best sellers. I actually sell these quite a bit, as well as the compression packing cube patterns. And I've even had a person say that they make these and they sell them in their craft shows and they sell well. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I can make my own jewelry organizers and sell at vendor shows, as well, since it's my original pattern. So as I was looking at it, and I really like my jewelry pattern, and these were the things my daughter used for her wedding, and so she used it on her wedding day. My mom used hers, I used mine, we all have one. As I was looking at it though, I decided, you know what, I think I want to kind of modify it a little bit, changed it up a little bit. I said, well, what if I, instead of opening the jewelry organizer like this, which it works, right? Maybe I do it like this, lengthwise instead of vertical, horizontal. And I started playing around with some designs, some ideas. Here's some of my notes, because I made two. So this video is going to show you, after I made those two, how I'm going to make the rest. So the first two that I made was a lot of stopping and measuring, and I wrote down some of the measurements. I don't think I wrote down everything, but a lot of the things I know in my head because I already created this jewelry organizer. And I also have this one. Now there are some things I'm going to change, like the earring card. This is plastic canvas, and I had some ideas about something else that I may share with you later on. So you have your jewelry, the earrings, you put your rings here, another pocket. So it's nice, but I think I can fit more if I make it lengthwise. And that's what I ended up doing. So I made two, and I'm going to show them to you in a minute. But for the other ones that I want to make, I want to make them in certain fabrics to kind of match the fall prep that I'm doing, because I'm going to be doing a fall market. I have one in September, one in November. I want to sign up for another one in October, another one in December, maybe a couple more in November. I don't know. I have to figure out. So what I'm going to use for the jewelry organizers is going to be this faux leather, which is kind of like the neutral, the solid color that I have. So I have this faux leather. This is going to be the waterproof canvas for all of them. I have some of this beautiful vintage rose fabric that I want to make some. I have this blue fabric. I haven't really made anything out of this blue fabric. So once I finish the jewelry organizer, I'm going to come back to this fabric and make the rest of the products that I'm missing to complete the collection or the set with this blue fabric. Now for this blue fabric, I am not going to use the cream waterproof canvas. I'm going to use a blue waterproof canvas that I have in there. I'm going to show you in a minute. Those are the ones I am going to use. And so let me show you real quick what I already have. So I made the Gigi Duo pouch with the vintage rose, the faux leather, oh, this orange flowers. I keep dropping everything. Okay. And I have them also in the medium size. Okay. So that means I have to make more of the light, this looks really bright. Anyway, I have to make more of the dual zipper pouches in like blue, the blue fabric, and I think that's it. Oh, yes, and I have to make them in this pink stripes. This is so pretty. This is so pretty. And I made, so I have to do that as well. Those are the fabrics I'm going to use right now to make the jewelry organizers. So I'm just going to start making them all 4 at the same time. That way, you know, let's see how long it takes, but all of them at the same time. That way when I'm done with all of them, I'm done and I don't have to make any more jewelry organizers. So the first thing I did was quilt the fabric. I took some of the fabric and I quilted, using batting. I cut all my pieces, of course. And now I am going to prep all of the pieces. That means I'm going to prep the ring holder, the facings, the tabs, all of that. And I rather have all of that ready to go before I start kind of sewing it or putting it together. That way I can have different little piles of everything ready. If I need to press it, it's pressed. If I need to um, stitch it, fold it, turn it right side out, whatever I need to do is done. And I don't have to worry about it at the time of actually making or putting the jewelry organizer together. So that's what I'm doing right now. And as you can see, the ring holder, I made it first. I turned the fabric pretty sides together. And I'm using this tool that helps me turn the fabric right side out. Actually, there are other tools I'm thinking about getting another one that is probably easier. This, I think it's called not a thermostat. I can't remember the name. I'll put it in here in a minute. Um, they're really good because they hold on to the fabric really well, so you can turn it. But this tube was kind of small. This tool is better if you have like a wider strap. It's easier. This tube was a little narrow, so it wasn't giving me enough room to open the tool and close it again. So definitely maybe not for this, but hey, I managed. Okay, I got it done. But now I know that for the next time I'm gonna try something else. Next, I'm going to make all the tabs. This process takes a little bit longer because there's several tabs. I mean, I put 6 tabs per jewelry organizer because I want to have the 4 tabs on the top and then 2 on the side to help hold necklaces so they don't get tangled, or bracelets, things like that. So I decided I'm just gonna make them all at once. Here I have the blue ones. I did those first, and then I'm going to make all the beige ones. There you go. They're all ready. And that way, when I do this, I don't run the chance of losing one. You know what I mean? Like I know they're all together. And so let's work on the next thing. I have made all of the clear pockets on the inside for all four of them. It's 2 pockets per organizer. And I have all of the little facings done, which are folded in half and press. I have to make the binding, which is not cut on bias, it's just regular binding to put around the edges. I could cut it on bias if, but anyway. And I have all of the tabs here ready. Okay. I'm going to add the snaps to the tabs and the ring holders when it's time to assemble. The next thing is to assemble the pocket and the zipper pocket. And so I cut all 4 pieces of zipper, and I have my 4 pieces of material here. For the blue one, I'm going to use a silver hardware. But for the cream ones, I'm going to use gold hardware. And that goes for the snaps as well. The snaps are going to be gold. And for the blue, the snaps are going to be the silver ones. Once I have all of these things done, all the prep work, the last step is, of course, to put them all together. But the one step before that is adding the snaps. So let me go ahead and make the zipper pockets now. I completed the zipper pocket, so I just add the zipper to one side of the panel, the fabric panel, because the other side is what's going to go on the body of the jewelry organizer. And once that is completed and I have all the other pieces done, pretty much everything, it's time to work on the tabs, and it's time to start adding all the snaps to the tabs. When it's time to add the snaps to the bags here, to the organizer, I use my cam snap tool, this green thing that you see right here. Okay. It's usually what I use. I purchased this snap tool a few years ago, and it is wonderful. I highly recommend it. I am not a sponsored, or they don't pay me to say this. I don't get anything, but it's a great tool. It really is a great tool. I have some videos here where I show you how to use it. But it comes with different dies, or the part on that you connect to the tool is a hand press tool. It has the dies, and so you change the dies based on what you're adding. So if it's a snap or a rivet or a magnetic snap, all of those things can be installed using the same tool, but you have to change the dies. So that's the only thing that's, but it's the same hand tool, just different dies depending on what you are installing. So I'm just gonna do it real quick, and I'm going to do silver for the blue and gold for the other 3. here are the exteriors. Now I added my tags here on. I decided to go on the top of the jewelry organizer. That way, I guess when I close it like this, it's right there. You can clearly see it. And then when you tie it, the bow is right below the tag, and then you can tie it. So there it is. I have the tag, and I added the ribbon on the back for all of the exterior bags. So all 4 of them. I mean, not bags, jewelry organizers. For this blue one, I decided to stick with the same color ribbon, even though really I'm using blue for everything else. It's just that I could not find a nice blue ribbon. And I like the gross rain type of ribbon. But it looks good. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just maybe I would have liked a blue next time, or I don't have, I mean, I have more of this fabric, but once I finish using this fabric, I cannot get any more because this is a Joann's fabric. So I'm not gonna worry about that. I can just get more of this ribbon, and that's it. This is a color that is easy to find and easy to match. Next step now is to do the inside. Now that I have finished adding all of the snaps using my cam snap here, this is how they all look. Okay, so I used the silver for the blue, and all the other ones I did them in gold. Now I have to remember what is the next step, because I'm trying to see here on my notes, my binder that I wrote my notes here with all the measurements. I need to add the side tabs, yes, which are these that I have here, right? I have to add these to the side. Okay, and then I have joined the exterior and the lining. Stitch the clear pockets and the zipper pocket. Okay, and then that's it. I didn't add any more instructions after that. Okay, so let's go by memory. Stitch clear pocket and zipper pocket after I add the tabs. The tabs are going to go, let me move this. Okay. So the tabs go right here on the side. So one here and one here along the marking. So I have a thin line. I don't know if you can see it. It's very thin. This one is very clear. You can probably see that one. I don't know. But I'm going to add the tabs right there. And I have to make sure that I'm going to do this one first, because this one, the tabs are made out of the faux leather. The other ones are out of waterproof canvas. So I figure if I do the faux leather first, get them out of the way, I don't mess up and then stitch the wrong one. Then the other ones, it doesn't matter which one I choose because they're all the same. I added the green holder here for you to see, but I actually have not stitched them. I only stitched this one. It's the only one I stitched so far along the side here. But I'm going to remove it for now and add the tabs first. That way I don't have anything like in the middle. So let's go ahead and do that. I think after I do that, I think I'm going to join the exterior and the linings together after I add the tabs. That way when I stitch the pockets, I'm stitching it all at once with the exterior and the lining. The reason for that is because it's the clear vinyl. I don't really want to stitch over the clear vinyl over and over, just one time. So you have to have everything ready so that way when you stitch over the clear vinyl, it's done. It's in place, you stitch once and that's it. So let me go ahead and do that. Next, I'm gonna use a little piece of the double-sided tape and just place it right there on the tab like this, right there, and place it right along that marking that I just made. And you see, once it stays in place, that way I can take it to the sewing machine and I know it's not going to move around. I'm going to do that on one side and then on the other side. And I am not worried about the raw edges here because the zipper from the zipper pocket is going to cover that raw edge, and then I'm going to add a little piece of binding here, fabric, and that's going to cover that raw edge as well. So I take this to the sewing machine and I'm just going to base stitch it in place. I do back stitch it though. I do go back and forth just to make sure, because this is going to be the part of the jewelry organizer that is going to be used the most. Like, it's going to be a lot of wear and tear, open, closing. And so I just want to make sure that it is secure. Plus, when I add the binding, I'm also going to stitch over it. So it is going to be secure, but it's just, I don't know, just my thing. So after stitching the side tabs to the lining right here on all four of these, now I'm going to join the exterior and the lining. And I'm going to do that first all along the edges. And then I will stitch the pockets and all of that. And that's going to join not just the lining and the exterior, but it's going to, you know, once I start stitching those things, it will kind of secure the lining to the exterior, and it's not gonna feel like they're separated, like they're divided. It's gonna feel like one piece. And I'm also going to stitch the ring holders at this point. So I have the blue one here. Also the vintage flowers, the vintage rose, I think I call this one. So pretty. Okay, actually I'm gonna put them here on the side. This one is the stripes. It's so light. It's I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I mean on your screen really well, but this one is so light. It's almost white. I wish the fabric was a little bit darker, like the green stripes. I don't think I'm gonna get this one again unless people love it and I sell tons of it, but if not, no. And the faux leather one, this one's beautiful. This one, I cut the exterior a little bit off. It's a little bit more here than the lining. So after I stitch, I'm gonna stitch this one following the lining measurements. And after I stitch it, then I'll trim off any excess fabric. Okay, so I'm just gonna put them here on the side first. Right here, let me show you. And I have all the clear pockets. So I should have, what is it? 8. 2 blues and then the rest in cream. I also have the bindings or facings that go inside. I have these are the binding for the outer part of the jewelry organizer. The pockets are here, and on the pockets I am going to stitch. Oh, look, I'm glad I found this, because I need to make sure this is there before I stitch it, so I can stitch it in place. I mean, I can always stitch it later. As long as it's stitched before I add the binding, it's gonna be okay, but still. So for these pockets, I have the other tags, and so I'm sorry that that tag, I'm going to add it. I think, so the pocket is gonna be facing like this. So I think I'm gonna add it like that. So when people open their jewelry organizer, they can clearly read it. Psalms 34:5. Okay. So next thing, I think I'm gonna add the tags first to all of them, and then join the exterior to the lining. That's what I'm gonna do. I started stitching the lining and the exterior together for this one. I started with a faux leather, and it was kind of sliding. So as I was stitching it, the lining was not staying even with the exterior. I don't know if maybe next time I'll just stitch the exterior to the lining and then trim off any excess exterior. But these I actually cut to shape, to the size, and then I'm trying to stitch them together. So it's getting a little bit difficult. So what I decided to do is switch my foot, and I'm gonna add my walking foot to my sewing machine here. I was using the 1/8 of an inch foot, my favorite foot. But I'm going to switch it to the walking foot. And this is for my Yuki machine. I'll add the link in the description, but for my Amazon storefront. But I'm telling you, this walking foot is great when you have situations like this. It's great to use it when you're stitching vinyl or faux leather, or anything that could be sticky, or if you have several layers and you want to make sure all the layers come through evenly. So for quilting, it's also really, really good. So yeah, let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to add it now, and then let's try that. I finished the first one, and using the walking foot, it was a challenge. I'm definitely not going to cut the exterior before I add the lining to it. I think that will be easier, will help me. I ended up having to kind of fold it a little bit here because it was just wonky, but this is going to get covered with the binding, plus this section is also the part where I'm going to put the zipper. So technically, it's not going to be noticeable. Okay, so it's not going to be noticeable, and it's not bad. It's just that it could be better. I feel like, okay, and I forgot to add the the ring holder. So I'm just going to add the ring holder here right now, and which is fine. And something else is keeping track of the ribbon here that I don't stitch it is something else that I could probably add at after I joined the exterior in the lining. I could add. I just didn't want the stitching to be noticeable on this side, you know, but I don't know. That is, oh my God, it's just a matter of preference, I guess. Okay, so it's, this part is done. I am definitely, like I said, we'll do that for the next set I make. But for right now, let's see how it works out with the fabric one. Now that one, I know that it was a little wonky anyway when I cut it, so that's why it was probably more difficult. But let's see with this one. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to align it. And another thing is I didn't put a lot of pins, and sometimes you just have to put quite a bit of pins, you know, and that also helps with the fabric staying in place as you are stitching it. And those are like little details that sometimes I feel like, oh yeah, I can do it without having to pin it. And then I have to ask myself, why you didn't pin it? I'm thinking I'm saving time by not pinning it, and I can just stitch it. And then I end up wasting even more time because I have to remove the stitching and stitch it again. And if I would have pinned it the first time, it would have been done. We would have avoided the second step. So just remember that, okay? Don't try to think, I mean, I've been sewing for years. And that's why sometimes I'm like, oh no, I can probably do it. I can probably just stitch it without adding the pins. But the fabrics, they want to do whatever they want. And you think they're going to behave a certain way, but once they're under the needle, they don't behave the way you think they're going to behave. So anyways, there's different things. So pin it, cut it after you stitch it, all of that. And actually, at this one even, the lining, it's a little bit bigger than the body, than the exterior. So I don't know, I may have the same issue. We'll see. It's because I cut it, when I cut the exterior, I actually cut it too short. So now it's not gonna be the way I want it to be. It's okay. Let's see what we can do. There it is. So here they are. I was able to add, join the lining in the exterior. This one was a little wonky, but the rest looks good. And I, did the fold test where I folded them and they look okay. So I will have to trim off any excess material. But I am not going to do that until I add the pockets and everything else, just to be safe. the blue one actually, which I knew the blue one was a little bit bigger when I cut it. So that worked out actually. So it's looking good. The vintage roses also turned out really good. No problem here. I don't really have to do a lot of trimming off, I don't think. Just a little bit, not a lot. So good. And then of course the faux leather, you know, it was the first one, and I do have to do a lot of trimming, and it's gonna work out, you know. Once I finish, you know, I fold it to make sure that everything looks okay. And I know I do have to trim off some things, but overall it looks good. So it worked out. Now I'm going to add the pockets, and I'm going to start with the clear pockets. I'm going to add the clear pockets here on the bottom, and then the final step is the side pocket, zipper pocket, and then the little binding here to kind of cover these raw edges. And I put the clear pockets first because part of the zipper tape is going to work as the facing to cover the raw edges for the tab and the raw edges here for the clear vinyl. And then the little piece of fabric is going to cover the raw edges of the tab and of the clear vinyl. So anyway, I know I go over these things in depth, and then I have to show you, then I show you what I mean. But I kind of want to share with you what I'm doing first and why I'm doing that, so that when I make it and you see me doing it, you have a better understanding of why I'm doing it that way. This is more like the train of thought, like, okay, the reason why I do this step first is because at the end I'm gonna need to do this. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So let me pull the clear pockets that I made. Oh, here they are. For the clear pockets, there's certain measurements, right, that I need to make sure I follow. For the pocket that is going to go, let me show you. The pocket that is going on this side is a different measurement than the pocket that goes on the center. And so I am going to make sure that I get the right, you know, because some of them, you know, they all have the same color. Like this, the blue one is easy because it's the only blue one, so I know I have the right ones. But I don't want to get the two of the bigger sizes and then trim one off, and then I don't have the right size for the other one. So I'm just gonna make sure I get both sides for each one, and then if I have to trim off anything, I can. Okay, let's do that. Finally, I have my two medium size, the two middle size ones, and I have here the two smallest ones, one for each one of these. So actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to join this. I'm going to put this here so I don't get them confused, and I'm going to put these here. And Valentino, I am so sorry, but I'm going to have to interrupt your comfortable position. I have the two ones for the blue ones, which I just have to trim off. Okay, I can do that in just a moment. Tino, I'm sorry, baby. Come on, baby. I'm so sorry. Thank you, baby. Okay, yes. You can stretch. Okay. And I have, okay. This one goes here and this one goes here. Perfect. So I'm just going to add clip to that. Clip to that. That goes there. And then this one goes here. I'm gonna learn how to sew. I need help. I need somebody willing to work. Are you willing to work? Oh, you see you see this and you want to play with that. Ah. No, sir. No, no, no. Okay. Next, I am adding the two final things that I need to add, which are the zipper pocket and the binding. So as you can see, these are stitched, and this little, it's not binding, it's like a facing, and that covers the raw edges. But I want to make sure that it is straight, because I will have to trim it off eventually, and I just want to make sure that all this looks nice and even. And I use a lot of double-sided tape. I'm almost out, but so I put a little piece of the double-sided tape along the edges here. Okay, nice. This looks good. So now I'll take this to the sewing machine and stitch all around it. Stitch all around it. And I'm getting closer to the end. I think I have all of them kind of situated now where they are supposed to go. Actually, the blue one, after I placed the zipper pocket here, I realized that it wasn't, that I had too much zipper, too much material for the zipper. So I had to trim it off a little bit, and because I did that, I had to move the label, and believe me, it was kind of challenging to add the label again, because when I make my labels, like, the method that I show you that you can check out in my channel, this type of paper leaves a mark, a puncture, when you're stitching it. So if you remove the label, it will leave the holes. And I can make more. I have plenty of paper and fabric and all. But last night I didn't feel like printing and all of that. I do have to make more labels, which I am going to be doing that soon. But I was like, oh my God, I gotta reapply this same label, because I did not want to wait until today to do that. And I think I did pretty good, actually. I'm surprised how good it turned out. So, yeah. Once all that is done, as you can see, there's, now you can see that this product, like the binding and the zipper, is attached to the body of the jewelry organizer, but they're not stitched yet. It's the double-sided tape. That is such a good double-sided tape, I'm telling you. Let's go ahead and stitch these in place, and then I will be able to trim off any of the excess material and make them look good. There you go. Here are the finished, well, not finished, I just added, you know, all the pockets, everything is added, okay? So what we need to do now is join all the sides. So the exterior and the lining are joined together on all 4 sides. And then I'm going to trim off all this extra material, extra zipper pocket here. Actually even extra clear vinyl, like all of that. Yeah, the one that I'm a little bit more worried of all 4 of these is the faux leather one, only because there was a big difference between the lining and the exterior here. So I just need to make sure that when I trim this one off, I am very careful and don't cut any of the lining extra, you know. The other one that I'm also a little bit worried is this one. It's a little crooked here, but you know, those things happen. So I'm just going to, you know, square it off, and it will be okay. It will be okay. It's not gonna be like unusable or anything like that. As long as it closes and it folds nicely, and of course it's even, right? It's not like, you know what I mean. It should be okay. So I'm almost done, you guys. As soon as I do that, then I can start adding the binding. Yay! After completing adding the binding, I didn't finish it, okay? I left these loose pieces because I'm going to do that at the very end, which is now. But in order to do that, you have to take it out of the sewing machine, measure, cut, fold, stitch, and then finish the binding. So I figure I'm just gonna add the binding to all 4 of these and then do the other steps all at the same time, like I've been doing as I make these jewelry organizers. The binding for the faux leather, it's a little wide. I think I should have cut it a little bit smaller, maybe like 3/4 of an inch instead of 7/8. And so it has a big part right here, and I don't know how to trim that off, that it will not be uneven. I don't want to trim it off now because I already added the binding, and let's be honest, adding the binding for the faux leather wasn't as easy compared to the fabric ones. I just wish I could figure out a way to probably trim this off a little bit, because it does look kind of big there. I'm afraid to do it, but if I do it, which I'm going to do, I'm gonna do it. And I mess it up, I'm just gonna have to, cut another strip of fabric and add it again. So let me see. Okay, let's see how I do this. I was starting to get frustrated trying to figure out how to do the binding for the faux leather. I took it all out, okay, because it wasn't good. And I had to stop and pray because I was starting to feel the frustration building up in me. And I've decided that I am not going to continue to struggle when I don't know how to do something, or when it's just not coming out the way I want it to. Because I have the Holy Spirit in me, and He is my teacher, and He knows all things. So He knows how to sew. Bottom line, He knows how to sew. So I have the master sewist here with me. I'm tapping into His knowledge. So as I was praying, I stopped and I said, okay, Lord, let me try this. Now, what I'm getting ready to try, I hope I heard correctly. I remember I'm the student. So if the mistake was made, it's on my end. So, but if it worked out, it's because I heard right and I was enlightened by the new way of doing things, these things. So what I did is that I cut 4 strips of faux leather, a 1/4 inch wide, and as long as all the sides, even longer. But it's 4 strips that are gonna be enough to cover the longest side of the jewelry organizer, right? And I folded them in half, and this is how it looks. So the way we're going to do this is I am going to stitch one side, trim it off, then stitch the other side, trim it off. And yes, it's going to have the little raw edges at the end, but I'm not worried about that because this is faux leather. It is not going to be damaged. It is not going to get destroyed. It just doesn't fray, right? It doesn't fray. So it will be okay. And guys, God came through. He helped me. Look how beautiful this binding turned out. It is beautiful, guys. Compared to what I did the first time around. Now, I don't know why we struggle so much trying to do everything on our own when we have the number one helper. I mean, if you believe in God, in Jesus, Jesus is your Lord and Savior, you have the number one helper inside of you, helping you with all of this. I don't know why I struggle so much. Anyway, it's turned out absolutely gorgeous. Look at that binding. It is perfect. This technique really works. So bottom line, you saw how I did it. I cut 4 strips longer than all sides because you want to have a little bit of space, to allow you to, the starter stitching. And stitch it, cut it, did the other one, stitch, cut it, stitch, cut it, and that's it. And now I may just add, like I said, some of the clear edge coat, just so that, I don't know, just to give it like a final touch, but it's perfect. I mean, I just have a little bit of, when you cut it, you want it to be flushed, and it's perfect. Thank you. Oh my God, it's perfect. Okay, now this one is done, and I can now go finish the other 3 where I have my fabric binding, which it's easier. I know how to do those. And that's it. Ah!